At 23:28 Moscow time on March 13th, 2026, the large anti-submarine frigate Admiral Makarov was making 14 knots through the northwestern Black Sea, 42 nautical miles southwest of Sevastopol. It was one of the most modern ships of the Black Sea Fleet, 4,035 tons full displacement, 124.8 meters long, 15 meters wide. On board, 8 Caliber K launchers, the Still, 1 air defense system, 2 Ka-27M helicopters, 2 AK-176 MA 76mm gun mounts, 6 AK-630M 30mm automatic cannons, and 2 torpedo tubes. Crew, 220. The frigate M2M radar was running continuous scan. Pars thermal imagers were sweeping the sea surface out to 12 miles, and the Tornado EW suite was jamming possible signals. The night was perfectly dark. The moon was hidden behind heavy clouds. The sea a black mirror, only faint reflections from the ship's navigation lights and occasional lighthouse flashes on the horizon. On the bridge, Captain First Rank Sergei Kovalyov stood in near total darkness under red instrument lighting. In the CIC, operators calmly finished their third watch coffee. All clear. No civilian traffic. Ukrainian radars are quiet, reported Senior Lieutenant Dmitry Orlov. After recent fleet losses, tension was constant, but tonight felt calm. The frigate was on a routine patrol. The area was considered safe. No one expected that 11 minutes later the night would turn into hell. On the Ukrainian side, at the HUR Mod Maritime Operations Center in Odessa, Colonel Andriy Romov issued the order at 23:17. Launched the Magura V5 group, 7 drones. Mission: close to extreme minimum distance at night. One must hit, the rest will distract. Show the Russians that even their 4,000-ton frigate can be reached right alongside. Let them feel what it's like when drones are already under the keel. 7 Ukrainian Magura V5 kamikaze sea drones, about 1.2 tons each, speed up to 42 knots. Composite hull with minimal radar signature, reduced thermal profile, night vision cameras, and Starlink satellite link. Launched from a mobile platform off the Odessa region coast at 23:19. They skimmed 25 to 40 centimeters above the surface, nearly blending into the water. Quiet electric drives. Speed 39 knots. Course 082, converging on the frigate from multiple sectors. 3 from the south, 2 from the west, 2 from the northeast, classic pincer geometry in a night sea. 1 drone, number 7, carried an extra heavy payload, 180 kilograms of explosives. It was the one meant to strike. At 23:29, Admiral Makarov frigate M2M radar picked up the first strange returns. Radar operator warrant officer Alexei Varnin reported, mildly surprised. Low surface targets. Very small, less than a meter above the water. Speed 38 knots. Range 13 miles, bearing 197. 7 returns now. At first I thought it was wave clutter or debris, but they're moving too steadily. The CIC went silent instantly. Captain Kovalyov turned to the screen. Classify. Pars thermal, on target. Those aren't fishermen. Those aren't civilian. 19 seconds later, the thermal imager confirmed. 7 small heat flecks hugging the surface. The signature matched Magura V5 sea drones. Low profile. Minimal heat from batteries and electric motors. Thermal operator Seaman Ivan Sokolov exhaled. Targets in formation. Not maneuvering. Straight at us. It's them. The setup turned into escalation within minutes. 23:31. Targets were already at 9 miles. Tornado EW tried to jam control links, but the drones ran autonomously with Starlink corrections. On the bridge, the watch officer, Lieutenant Maxim Ryabov, raised night vision binoculars and froze. I see faint wakes. 7 white streaks. Moving like shadows. Too fast to be waves. The CIC declared combat alarm. First degree. All AK. 630M mount slewed onto sectors. 2 30mm guns on the starboard side covered the approach. The upper AK 176 MA 76mm gun went to readiness. But the order from Sevastopol was rigid. ROE. Fire only inside 600 meters and only on a clear ramming course. Do not fire yet. The world watches every shot we take at night. Kovalyov clenches fists. They know we see them. They're coming too confidently. This isn't random. 23:33. The 7 contacts split into 3 groups. Speed steady at 39 knots. Thermals showed clear silhouettes, low, flat, with a small mast/antenna. One group came down the bow line. The second ran along the starboard side. The third, the most dangerous, pressed toward the stern. Range 6.2 miles. A Ka. 27M was ordered to launch, but the pilot warned, in darkness at low altitude, I may not see them in time. Tension in the CIC rose by the second. AK 630 operator Senior Lieutenant Pavel Morozov held his finger near the fire switch. Targets inside effective range. If they come inside 2 miles, I'm ready to shred them. The captain replied in an icy tone. Wait. One burst from us at night, and tomorrow the whole world sees a Russian frigate shooting small boats. That's exactly what they want. 23:35. The drones were down to 3.8 miles. Now they were visible through night vision. 7 pale wakes cutting black water. They started zigzagging, classic low-profile evasive movement. One drone, number 4, surged to 41 knots and drove straight toward a frigate's bow. Distance collapsed fast. In Odessa, Colonel Vromov watched the live feeds. Film everything. Let them feel it. Their big ship, their radars, their calibers, and 7 of our drones at $400,000 each are already alongside. Drone 7 prepare to strike. On Admiral Makarov, tension hit the peak. 23:37. The first trio closed to 1.9 miles. The wakes were visible even without optics. The faint whir of electric motors began bleeding through the wind. Sailors on the upper deck froze at the rails. Someone whispered, God, they're right under us. 23:38. The second group came in from starboard. Range dropped to 820 meters. Now the drones ran parallel to the frigate's course, mirroring every maneuver. One drone, number 5, abruptly slowed and held at 510 meters. So close the ship's bow wave nudged its small body. Its camera feed showed crisp details. Portholes antennas, the St. Andrew's flag on the gaff. In the CIC, Kovalyov barked. Searchlights on the water. Helicopter, illumination markers. Security boats, over the side. All AK 630, fire on readiness. Powerful ship searchlights stabbed the sea, lighting a 250-meter ring. 2 Raptor class security boats were already in the water, running 42 knots, dropping simulated grenades. A Ka. 27M hovered over the starboard side and fired illumination flares. The flashes lit the black water, and everyone saw it. 7 white wakes slicing through the waves at 300 to 400 meters. But the drones did not turn away. They kept closing. 23 hours, 39 minutes, and 20 seconds. The third group, including number 7, reached 240 meters. The most dangerous drone, number 7, was coming in under the stern line. The stern AK 630 opened fire, its staccato trail ripping across the water. 2 drones, number 3 and number 6, were shredded. Burning debris splashed into the sea. Another, number 2, took hits to the bow and began sinking. But number 7 broke through. It skimmed at 30 centimeters above the surface, 41 knots, straight into the starboard side near the aft AK 630 position. The searchlights lit its hull clearly. Sailors could see it, a small dark silhouette antenna camera. The AK 630 operator shouted, I can't! Too close. 23 hours, 39 minutes, and 47 seconds. Drone number 7 slammed into Admiral Makarov's starboard side 165 meters forward of the stern, directly near the machinery spaces. 180 kilograms of explosives detonated. The blast hit like thunder. A fireball climbed 30 meters. The hull shuddered. Water poured through a breach roughly 4 by 2 meters. A starboard list began immediately, 6 degrees in 12 seconds. Power failed in the aft section. One of the 30 millimeters mounts went silent. Emergency alarms screamed inside the engine compartments. In the CIC, Kovalyov grabbed a rail. Hit! Stern, starboard side. Damage control teams, move. Seal bulkheads. Helicopter, cover. The remaining 4 drones began peeling away, but 2 were finished by AK-630 fire and helicopter machine guns. The main blow, however, had already landed. In Odessa, Colonel Hromov stood up and said quietly, "1 hit, objective complete. The rest home." Aboard Admiral Makarov, the crew worked like a machine. Damage control teams patched the breach with foam and collision mats. They stabilized the list at 9 degrees. The frigate reduced speed to 8 knots and turned toward Sevastopol. No fatalities, but 11 wounded from shrapnel and blast concussion. Machinery Space No. 2 was flooded to 40%. 1 caliber missile in its launcher was damaged. At 004, all Ukrainian drones vanished from the screens. Frigate M2M returned a clean horizon. But the frigate was no longer the same. Limping home with a breach, a list, and smoke trailing from the stern. The entire engagement lasted 16 minutes 19 seconds. Ukraine lost 6 drones. Russia took serious damage to a frigate worth billions of rubles, and another night that would go down as the night at the hull. The narrator closes the video in a low, calm, ironic voice over the hiss of wakes, the blast echo, and tense orchestral music fading out. Tonight the Russians learned that in the Black Sea, even a big frigate worth billions can take a hit from a Ukrainian drone right alongside. 7 McGurvey 5S closed to 240 meters. They were detected too late. Searchlights, helicopter, security boats. Everything snapped on in seconds, but one still got through. 180 kilos, tore open the side. List, smoke, casualty, and 7 small drones did what big missiles couldn't. We simply reminded you, this is our sea. These are our rules. And your radars, your stills, your searchlights against our drones at night are just a very expensive show where tonight the leading role was ours. 1 hit, the rest escaped. And Admiral Makarov now knows what real fear looks like at point-blank range.